Okay, this is a short video to describe a problem that I've been having with my driveway security lights. I installed this about a year ago, and after I installed it in the spring of last year, and then in the fall, I noticed it started tripping a circuit breaker, and I took it down, took it apart, could not find any water in it. It was not wet, and what I assumed was that the sensor unit, which hangs down beneath, somehow was not watertight. It claims to be rain tight. You can see it right there. But, so what I tried to do is add some tape, weather sealing tape, around any of these joints that I thought there could possibly be an intrusion point for water. Now, I couldn't take this apart to really verify that it wasn't wet inside, but I was able to partially take it apart, and I could see that there was no water in it per se, so I was a little bit puzzled. Now, the location for this lamp is up there on the corner of the house, okay? And it doesn't have an eaves over it, so it is exposed to the rain quite a bit. But of course, it says that it's supposed to be okay for a waterproof a wet location, suitable for wet location. Okay, but here's the thing that I noticed almost just by chance as I was taking this now apart for the second time, because the incident happened again in this last spring where we had Randy together, and I noticed, look at one of these lights. Look how shiny that terminal is. And then on this one, look how it's got some buildup. Okay, and then if you actually, now the sun's coming up, so it's actually going to start, this will actually dry out in the presence of the sun, but that's water. And there's even water, a water drop, it might be hard to see, right on the cone. And you can see that this water is bridging and causing a short. Now this seems to be the problem. In order to illuminate the front walkway, the way these have been placed, this one, which points front, is nearly horizontal, but it's not horizontal, but it's nearly horizontal. And now if you look at the warning on it, do not aim above horizontal. This one is not above horizontal, but nevertheless, it's not at a steep downward angle. And you probably may not be able to see this, but just like with that water drop on the lamp, this is wet on the inside, and this little felt type gasket is actually soaked. Okay, and it hasn't got to the point where there's been corrosion and rusting in all of the fixtures, because it's probably just only a year old. In this case, the water, because it did cause the trip of the breaker, I was able to detect it. I did notice another thing. The rubber gasket on the other side, which does point directly down, actually has a crack in it. And apparently the wind-driven rain at the low angle is penetrating this seal here, which seals up against the side. It's a fairly tight seal, but apparently still the water's getting through it. And or it's possible that it could get through here, but then it has to migrate up and over to get down on the inside. Now, it's actually pointed down, but not by a sharp enough angle to somehow prevent that water from entering in at a high spot and then somehow working its way down into that cone, if you know what I mean, because it's not horizontal, but it's not enough to prevent water from getting actually a downhill path in a way into this. Anyway, now that I have identified the source of the problem, I should be able to develop a remedy, such as point it downward more, or area that I need to focus on water sealing will be this area here around the one that wants to be placed, not pointing directly down. In this case, if this had been protected by the eaves, but it was still had a low angle, it probably wouldn't have mattered, because the rain at that point may not be coming directly from above when it's penetrating, although it might. So I'm not sure about that. That would be another possible solution. Okay, anyway, just thought I would share this.